As Tropical Storm Melissa crawls closer to Jamaica or near to Jamaica, we're not even sure yet, here are some of the issues with Menacing Melissa and the problems for Jamaica.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Tropical Storm Melissa is currently meandering across the Caribbean at an agonizingly slow pace, which is expected to continue in the coming days, even as it is forecast to strengthen into a major hurricane. The system at times covered as little as 1 mile per hour. This is slower than general walking pace. Even though the forward speed increased to 5 miles per hour earlier today, it has slowed back down to snail's pace at 2 miles per hour. While hurricanes are powerful storms, they require a tug or pull from other weather systems, such as a cold front or a dip in the jet stream, to determine how fast they move and where they go. Now, when those influences are very weak or absent, as in the case with Melissa, the storm can meander for days, dumping copious amounts of torrential rainfall, potentially triggering flash floods and landslides. The reason for Melissa's slow forward speed is simply wind shear, which is being produced by a trough. The system continues to push against the wind shear, hence its current asymmetrical or lopsidedness to the east, with the main area of low pressure currently located to the western edge of the storm. As a result, there's a lot of deep convection wrapped up in sections to the north, east and south of the main area of low pressure in the system. Now, the wind shear is expected to weaken in the next day or two, which could spell disaster for the island, even though there is still uncertainty about just how strong Melissa may become and what her path may be. It is still unclear whether it will turn more toward Haiti or Cuba, or whether it will turn toward Jamaica. Now, slow movement and weak upper level winds can also help a storm like Melissa intensify into a major hurricane. Worryingly, at the moment, the Caribbean Sea has some of the most unusually hot waters of any part of the Atlantic basin, and the storm has the opportunity to tap into this heat. The water is not only warm, but the warmth extends to great depths. This is particularly concerning because there have not been many tropical disturbances in the region this season, so all that latent heat is available to Melissa. Hence, the potential for a rapid intensification is a very real danger. I know there is much talk about the Blue Mountains having saved us many times in the past from storms, and while there are merits in those arguments, Melissa poses a major flooding threat because the island is fairly mountainous, especially in the east and along its central spine. I make this point because mountains tend to wring out moisture from the atmosphere in a process called orographic lift or orographic ascent, which increases the likelihood that heavy rains will fall for many days. So still early-ish days based on the forward speed of the system. There's still no conclusive track that the system will take. There are a lot of speculations and suggestions and possibilities, but at this point it is still unclear as to the general path that the system may take. However, based on the size of the system, based on the fact that the trough that is providing the wind shear is expected to weaken in the coming hours and a day or two, there is the general school of thought that Melissa will become better organized, intensify, and become a major hurricane. A major hurricane is category 3 and up. As to what it will be when it is closest to Jamaica or is directly impacting Jamaica, I am not sure at this point in time. However, it is projected that there will be a lot of rainfall. And the rain has been falling consistently for the past couple of weeks, so a lot of areas have experienced flooding in recent days, and in many parts of the country the soil is now saturated, meaning it can take no more water. And as a result of that, plus the amount of rainfall, in some predictions 8 to 12 inches of rainfall, in some cases even more, then you can expect that there will be, unfortunately, flooding events across the country. Then we don't know how strong the system will be in terms of wind speed, so then that will also be a factor, or could be a factor, as it relates to, utility services, JPS, and trees falling down and roofs being torn off and those things. So we don't know. And with the soil being saturated and the projected rainfall, you can expect that there will be land slippages or landslides in many areas. And also, depending on the strength of the system, we also will have to deal with arguably the most destructive aspect of a hurricane, which are storm surges. So it is going to be a very interesting few days. And one of the most concerning factors for me is the pace at which the system is moving. A slow moving storm is a dangerous storm because it can sit there and pour rain for hours into days, and that is very dangerous. Plus the wind speed, plus the storm surges. So it's a trinity of effects there basically. So Melissa has been very erratic. It has been hard to predict, and I would implore that, we need to prepare as best as possible. I will continue to provide the updates as they come along. I will start tracking the system tomorrow morning. Really, I suppose we'll probably start getting to the business end of the thing tomorrow in the day, going into the evening, into the night. And as such, I'll also be streaming starting probably Friday night into Saturday night, into Sunday, based on the system and what it is doing. Now, a tropical storm warning and hurricane watch remains in effect for Jamaica as tropical storm Melissa moves slowly across the Caribbean. At 5 p.m., the center of tropical storm Melissa was located at 185 miles southeast of Kingston, packing maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour with higher gusts. So peeps, this is my first video as it relates to Melissa, and there will be more videos coming. And if you are in Jamaica, please take the warning seriously. We don't know. It's always better to be prepared, and it don't affect us severely versus being affected severely and we weren't prepared. Burial would have taught us many lessons, including many storms of the past. So be careful, guys. Prepare as best as you can, but we will see each other again soon. Walk good.
Teach them. Always make sure the message reach them.